Hey guys, today we are talking about observing and how what you observe becomes your reality. So I've talked about this in previous videos, but you can think of situations where maybe there's an unknown. You don't know how things are going to go. They could go one of two ways. You could get the job offer, you could get rejected. You could have this person ask you out, or they could tell you that they're not interested. You could get approved for the loan or denied. Things like this. And maybe in that moment you have been able to feel that, as you can typically feel this once you've started manifesting consciously, you can feel that it is going to be whichever way you decide it is, and whichever one your dominant thinking lies with is what is going to come to pass for you. And this is because what we observe is what creates, because I'm not going to get into the science behind it because it's just too much for me to repeat or say off the top of my head, but basically you're collapsing quantum waves based on what you choose to observe. The rest is falling away, and what you observe is starting to solidify into the 3D reality. So I have 2 tips when it comes to this for you. Maybe you are feeling like you are in the state of having your wish fulfilled, but things just are stuck in this perpetual, it's almost here. You're seeing all these birds before land. If you don't know what that is, I've made 2 videos on it, and this is basically going to be a 3rd one. Maybe you're seeing nothing but birds before land, and it's getting really frustrating. Now this can actually keep you in a loop, because if you acknowledge birds before land and you know that it means that your manifestation is coming, then you might start to observe that you are perpetually in a state of your manifestation coming and not your manifestation arriving. So there's a couple different ways to shift your thinking. You can start saying, it is happening now, every time you see signs. But if you don't feel that you're really believing that, and you do think that it's catching you in a loop of, oh, I don't have it, I know I'm going to have it, oh look, here's a sign that it's almost here, aka not here, then try this out because I find that this is very helpful. So what you observe is what comes to pass and what becomes, solid in your reality. So what do we observe the majority of the day? Our cell phones and social media. And social media is designed for us to focus our attention on something new multiple times in 1 minute, or at the most 3 minutes at a time, right? It's very hard for us to sit and it's not hard at all. It's very easy for us to just sit and scroll. And especially when we're kind of looking for birds before land, or we're using social media to observe our current state of things, of course we know that this is old news. These are old thoughts, because whether it takes 1 second to manifest or 1 year, it's going to be in the future, right? Or it's going to happen. Yeah, you're going to be moving into it. I don't know. I don't want to use the word future too much, but you're going to be moving into it. And so everything that is currently happening in your reality is old thoughts and old patterns and beliefs. So when you're shifting into something new, you might find yourself in a void space, and you might find yourself being called to disconnect more and more. Now, I have taken only 2 days off of social media, but this is my process. So today is Saturday, and last Sunday night, after some hypnotherapy, integration, healing, I felt like I really came into a very solid state of fulfillment and knowing that my wish was fulfilled. But then as I went into my week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I felt that I was kind of getting knocked around a lot, and it's I felt like I was in the state of the wish fulfilled, but at the same time, something just felt off. I was observing both my desired state of reality and my current state, the old stuff, at the same time. And I wasn't even fully conscious of this. It just didn't feel good. It didn't feel ideal. Something felt slightly off about it, and it gave me a little bit of anxiety here and there. And it's because our attention span is shifting so quickly because of the way social media conditions us to just constantly be going on to the next thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth every 30 seconds, if not shorter than that, that I didn't even have time to sit and process what was going on until I found myself just, I don't know, it just felt inspired to just not use social media. And so for one whole day, I think this is like my second or third day of not using social media or using it extremely sparingly. But the first day, it was actually kind of difficult. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do all day? Oh my gosh, like what am I going to do with my spare time? And in a sense, it had become a part of my manifestation process where, I'm so used to seeing all these signs all around me that my manifestation is coming. So what do I do if I'm not observing the signs that it's coming but not here? So I took a break, and when I would find myself in like, oh my gosh, well, what do I do if I don't scroll on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it was, or Facebook? I was like, well, what do I want to do? And I just made myself sit there bored and unsure of what I was going to do until I figured it out. And even if I wasn't doing anything productive, I was still not going back and forth, right? So some things that I chose to do was to just rest, to socialize with this like video game that I play that I've talked about, how I used it to manifest, or I manifest like everything I want in this 3D reality in this video game. But I have a little community of friends there, and so I just kind of like distracted myself with that because it's like a totally separate thing. I don't focus on my current reality. Take a little break with that. Socialize. I watched some like TV shows that put me in the state of feeling the wish fulfillment, like romantic, stuff, like dream kind of stuff. I'm really focused on spending time with my family for the holidays, so I've been watching holiday movies because, it's getting me in the spirit and whatnot. So I started filling my time. I started journaling. I caught up on journaling. I haven't journaled since like June. And my whole goal was like to do it every day. But then, sometimes things just start happening so quickly. Anyway, it's like too much to catch up on. And now I find myself like 6 months later. But I caught up on my journaling. I started scripting, trying different scripting methods. I did this thing where you write like an appreciation letter, a thank you note, a love letter to yourself. From the perspective of your desire. So whether it's like a family member, a friend, a romantic partner, a job, a real estate agent, a car salesman, whatever it is, telling you like how amazing you are basically, and why they value you, why they appreciate you, why they love you. So I did some of that, and it made me feel really good and like solid in my state of the wish fulfilled. And what taking the break from social media did was I wasn't seeing all these little things that my brain was trying to piece together of the current state of things. Like in the little glimpses I would get through social media here and there, whether it was directly related to something or indirectly, and I was like, oh, it's birds before land. It started allowing me to just focus on the end result. So then of course I came across a video that Naya did. She's one of my like favorite manifestation YouTubers, talking about how what you observe comes to pass. And I was like, oh, perfect. Like this is just confirmation that I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. And she even talked in it about how social media really changes our attention span, and how can you focus on observing the reality you want when your focus is shifting multiple times a minute. So taking a break from social media and just my phone in general, and just utilizing it in a different way. Like I still check Facebook, but I only check it like twice a day, and I check my notifications and I respond to my friends, and that's it. I post those pictures I took with my friends, and that's it. I'm not looking at every little thing. I took a break from posting on stories even, because that can be like a mind, that can get you all in your head. And then once I did, I I don't look at who views them. I'm just limiting the stimulation, and I'm limiting what I'm observing, and I am focusing, bringing my energy back to myself, right? Because if we're coming back to the core belief of our self-concept, then, that manifests our external reality, then why not take some time to focus on that and see how it's going, and just really spend that time with yourself and make sure that you're centering your energy. There's a Trevor Hall song that I love, and it's called A Reminder, and the lyrics are, "My love, it's just a reminder, find your center." And I think of that all the time, every time I'm a little stressed or I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just a reminder to find your center. You're being knocked around? Cool. Learn how to find your center in that. So like I said, I'm just doing more and more things that feel good to me. So it doesn't have to be something productive. You don't need to work on all those projects that you have a list of. You can just take care of your needs in the moment. What energetic needs do you have? Do you need to just rest? Do you need to just goof off for a little bit? Do you need to take a walk, or just take a nap, or just listen to some music, or what is it? But being really conscious that you are, what's the word? Oh my goodness, I just forgot it. Being conscious that you are prioritizing yourself, respecting yourself, and honoring yourself. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. So I think that is all I really wanted to talk about, was just how greatly social media has, oh no, there's a second thing, how greatly social media has helped by taking a break from it. I think it speeds manifestation up, because if you're kind of back and forth and all over the place, I had talked in another video about how it's kind of like you keep making edits to your online order. You keep pausing the shipment. Oh no, okay, go ahead and ship it. Oh no, wait, hold on. Okay, no, don't ship it. Oh, okay, ship it. Sure, it might get sent out to you, but in what state? And then are you going to even be it's just, it's a lot, right? So one, take a break. Just dial it back on how you use social media, and just give it, change your habits for 1 week, not drastically. If you are like, oh my gosh, I could never do that, just change your habits for 1 week, day by day, whatever you can handle, and see how things change for you. 2, you might find yourself in a void space. Now, I talk about this more in depth on my little podcast update for my Patreon subscribers. But basically, if you find yourself in a void space when you're making a big reality shift, when you're making a big shift with your manifestations, think of it like actors or stage hands trying to change a set. If you are still leaning on the walls or sitting on the sofa or trying to talk to the other actors, how are they supposed to go change? If you want someone to show up differently in your reality, but you won't stop talking to them when they're dressed in their pirate costume, but you are expecting them to show up as the captain of a ship costume, I don't know, just something different, right? How? They don't have time to go change. You're observing them as this pirate costume. You're not giving them a second to go change into the desired form. If you keep staring at the set walls saying they're orange, why aren't they purple? You got to get out of the way so they can change the walls. If you're like, why is this couch still here? I said that I wanted a chaise lounge. Instead, get off of the sofa. You have to leave the room. You have to close your eyes. You have to let the lights go out and everyone in black outfits run around real quick and shift everything around. You have to let your reality change. So if you feel like things are just kind of like missing, like people aren't talking to you right now, whether it's friends, family, romantic interests, whatever, if they're not talking to you for a little bit, they're being distant, they're probably going through big changes based on how your reality is shifting, whether or not they are a direct person that you're manifesting change in. If you are manifesting big change for yourself, your entire reality needs to change, and it's going to take its time, and it needs to do that. And when you It's like, oh, okay, well, why can't they do that while talking to me all the time? I don't know. Are you capable of observing change on a daily basis, or do you get stuck in loops of this is who this person is, and that won't change until they come back a week later and show you that they're different? Be honest with yourself. It's whatever is easiest for your brain to perceive and believe. And I'm one of those people. I think that it's easiest for me to see change when there's high contrast, when somebody disappears for a little bit and then comes back. I'm like, oh, look at that. It just gives me a fresh set of eyes. So it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It just is. So let things shift, let things change, breathe. And I will see you in the next video. So if you want to join my Patreon and you want to get access to additional content, feel free to check it out. The link will be down below. If you want to book one-on-one services, all the info is on my website, thealexandrarose.com, also linked below. And if you have any questions, there's a contact form on my website, or you can email askalexandrarose@gmail.com, or leave a comment. But definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to hear in the next video, and I will see you later, alligator.